My fellow Americans, our country right now has two parents that have forgotten the importance of family. They're like two potential divorcees caught in an embittered fight over our dislike for one another and using our child, our country, as a bargaining chip to hurt one another. And ultimately, in a situation like that, the child is the one who suffers the most. Life doesn't always have to be a contact sport where me winning means you have to lose, or you winning means I have to lose. There's a co-parenting win-win if we look for it together. We must keep our eye on what's most important for our family over what we may think allows us to beat up that partner we no longer feel the same love for. In the same way, one must look at health goals. What I want most, such as a healthy body, over what I want now, like a second slice of chocolate cake. There comes a time when a critical junction has to be crossed, where others may make it about personal agendas. We must realize that the whole is what keeps us together. We are not a country of divided ideals. We're a country of diverse ideals. Right now, there's a good chance there's a message on social media or a conversation happening amongst people that at some level, politically, ideologically, professionally, has caused you to disagree strongly with your fellow American, even hate them. There are hundreds of millions of diverse humans from every walk of life in this great country that we all love. And as you can imagine, that comes with lots and lots of differing viewpoints. That is the basis of what makes us strong and unique. With all those diverse opinions, ideals, and ways of achieving goals, the one thing that ties us all together is our love for the idea of what America can be. The American ideal has the ability to create this incredible halo effect that can positively impact literally all aspects of our lives, from personal, professional, health, religious, and everything in between. But when we get to those topics that we disagree on, humans have the option of voicing our opinion or silently observing and mentally filing people into different in and out groups. Our country is at a historically critical moment where we either will focus on what unifies us or start creating factions, whether real or imaginary, that will irreplaceably divide our country instead of working on what truly is most important, creating the win-win. We are the American family. And like family, we don't always have to like one another, but we should always love one another, especially during the most trying times. You know, if you've ever had a family argument, they typically end up in one of two ways. The first one is you say, hey, you and I are pretty much saying the same thing, just in different ways. Or two, an insurmountable rift is created that slowly floats people away from one another, and then eventually they somehow just grew apart. We as a country should not entertain option two. We should not entertain even a glimmer of a thought of a civil war part two. We all have unique life experiences and therefore different viewpoints. All of these viewpoints are valid. We don't have to agree with them to make them valid. But we can take a step back, breathe, and ask ourselves what's truly most important to all of us, and refocus on how we can address those problems that are at hand together. In the same way, two loved ones in the heat of an argument rarely come to a resolution. The two need to take a moment to step back and reassess from a clear-headed perspective. And focus simply not on the feeling of being hurt, but focus on how we can get through this together. I encourage everyone to authentically share what you care about. It's the only way change happens and evolution takes place. What destroys growth is when we forget we can disagree without being disagreeable, as a wonderful quote goes. You may not agree with my viewpoint, but it doesn't mean who I am as a person is any less valuable to the collective group. And I may not agree with your viewpoint, but it doesn't mean who you are is any less valuable. What our country needs is not to look at our teammates as the enemy. We can't win with infighting. We have to look at our teammates as teammates. And if we choose to focus on what's most important instead of wanting to be right, then we might just come up with some incredible ideas together. Because working towards a common goal as a team is how we win. We're at a critical ideological junction that can either unite us or divide us as a country in a very real and tangible way. Whether it's tone or accusation, silence, this point forward will make or break the team environment that's taken hundreds of years to develop. I'm dedicated to being part of unification work in my life, and I sense I'm not the only one who feels this way. I invite you to ask yourself before hitting that blue post button on social media, is my post going to bring people together or cause us to drift apart? I invite you to ask yourself before you make that next comment to a friend, is it with the intent to understand them or is it with the intent to convince them? These small acts may make or break this beautiful country more than any other immediate step we can all take right now. Of course, you have the right to disagree with my ideals, and I would respect your viewpoint because that's what we as humans have the unique ability to do. Disagree with respect. This is the moment I ask and invite all of you to realize that there's not a left and right, a blue, a red, or whatever division we want to create if we focus on what's most important, the American family. If we focus on that, we all will win.